on the last episode of Where the Waters Begin.
Rapids are done, flat water ahead. Should be a great day of paddling.
We left the Tichégami River behind and headed south down Lake Badeau.
Pretty sight.
Fabulous.
Woo! We pushed upstream through shallow waters and out across the height of land.
Yeah. Straight shot through the bog. That way, we're going downstream.
Now we would descend into the wilds of Quebec's largest lake and out across kilometers of open waters as we make our way to Journey's End at Lake Albanel.
So today we are going down river to get to Lake Mistassini. Not a big day in terms of kilometers. We got a couple of rapids on the day that we might be able to run. Maybe a set of falls we have to Portage, but for the most part, fairly easy river paddling until we get down to the lake. And then we'll set up there so that we can hopefully get a push across the lake when the water is calm.
Lake Mistassini. It's like Superior, but in Quebec. Should be good.
I'm kind of pumped to get on the lake and just like look down and see like just blue on the horizon. I think that'll be kind of cool. I think we'll have a nice campsite for tonight too. A little beach with a little inland lake.
Getting prepped and packed as we make our way down towards Lake Mistassini. Really kind of the next big leg of our journey. And hopefully the weather is good when we get down there, because those lakes apparently can be very much like an inland sea. They are absolutely massive. Good way to start your day, a little rapid action. Picking our way down a nice little bouldery set. Nothing to it. Always good today to start your day with a little bit of rapid action. Keeps the doctor away. Push to Lake Mistassini. It's about 5K away right now. And the wind is definitely picked up compared to the last couple days. Winds are about 20 kilometers an hour, gusting up to 30 minimum. But with these winds, we'll see what happens when we get to the river mouth. If you hear 3 whistle blasts, you know there's a problem. All right, last rapid of our trip. We're going to run the first part, then eddy out and line the remainder. Bit of a techie wave train with a few hidden boulders, so hopefully we don't scrape. But we will see. Okay, let's get some power. Oh yeah, definitely smoke that. Oh. Not the most graceful. Nice, that was well done though. That was good. The entry was a little sketchy because it was kind of like the current kind of took us funky, but we hit the bottom.
Oh yeah, I heard us bottom up.
To the lake.
The big waters were now within reach. All that stood in our way was the boulder-strewn outflow of the Mistassini River.
Here it goes. Perfect.
With the final rapid now behind us, we found ourselves in a sheltered inlet on Lake Mistassini, eager to tackle the openness that lay beyond.
We made it.
What a pike! Oh, yo!
Yo, you got it.
Yo, it hit my line. I was like, okay, I'm snagged, and then
Because I think we can get them on shore and we can net them at the same time. You're probably gonna have to tire them out for a few minutes.
yeah. What a monster! An absolute snake.
The fillets on that feed
Dude,
everybody
it's
like 6 times.
Literally a meter long.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Oh yeah!
Bro.
Okay, sick.
Oh man.
This thing's huge. Like
12 pounds?
no more than that. I think.
18?
Oh,
Yeah, he annihilated
look at
that.
those teeth.
Yeah.
Oh, yo, they're like 2 millimeters long. It's the biggest fish I've ever caught in my life.
And you caught it on a canoe trip with probably not your.
It's not your first big lake rodeo.
Woo!
We made it.
Huge. Way bigger in person than looking at the squares on a map.
We have made it to Lake Mistassini 13 days later. We're gonna be heading down the coast trying to find a campsite right now. And yeah, 4:30, good time to relax and celebrate.
It's a little daunting, the fact that we have to cross that in a couple days. Just straight across, boom. It'll be maybe a bit of a white knuckle paddle. I don't know, we'll see. See what the weather is like.
You can see the other shoreline just on the horizon, thin blue line of ridges. That's about 8 kilometers away. It's a big peninsula, and then straight across there's another 6 kilometers of open water. So quite a lot of open water paddling to get over there. Welcome to gorgeous Mistassini Lake. We have found ourselves a little slice of paradise here. Gorgeous big sandy beach, and in behind there's a little lake and a stream trickling down. Cobbles on the one side, nice fine sand here, just perfect. Gorgeous day, the winds actually died down quite a bit. We're supposed to be getting weather tomorrow, so we're planning on hunkering down here for potentially 2 nights right now. We could attempt an open crossing, but it is Tuesday and we still have time on the trip. We're going to enjoy ourselves and, you know, use up the time here because we had to factor in those extra days because Mistassini can be quite the angry lake at times, but right now she is a gentle giant and she is absolutely breathtaking.
We have a lentil shepherd's pie with garlic mashed potatoes currently in the reflector oven, getting all brown on top. And then after, for dessert, we have a chocolate peanut butter walnut brownie creation.
Nice. Is that sufficient?
Oh yeah.
First one's order.
Definitely nice to have a nice warm meal as it's cooling down for the night.
Stormbound on Lake Mistassini. We actually knew the weather was going to be potentially a little hairier today. And because we have that open water crossing, we didn't want to go out there with rains and heavy surf kind of forecasted. Doesn't look like it's too crazy from here, but further out in the middle of the lake could be a lot worse because that's an open water crossing. If you commit to that, that's an hour and a half, 2 hours of paddling. And with these storms rolling through, you could get caught in something out there and it would be a hairy ordeal. There are whitecaps pounding into the shore here, decent sized waves, but further out there, it's not where you want to get caught. This is a large lake and it commands respect. We do have the time, so we're just hunkered down today. It's been raining off and on. We're just hanging out in the bug shelter, relaxing, playing some games, enjoying ourselves. So Cam's the vegan, right? What happened to your gloves, bro?
Well, I have the gloves accessible in my bug jacket, or my bug gloves and my work gloves. So, but we caught a big pike, and figured they're the quickest gloves to reach for the pike. So I chucked them to Jacob, and now they're very slimy. Currently sitting in the bottom of my canoe.
And they'll stay there until
it trips over, and then I throw them in the garbage. No, we're part of a team. You can use my gloves.
Cam's the MVP.
Yeah, just wash them. That's all I have.
Just the basic necessity.
Yeah.
With the surface area over 2.3 thousand square kilometers, Lake Mistassini is Quebec's largest natural lake.
Crossing it requires paddling 2 stretches of open water totaling 14 kilometers.
Once across, an additional 3 kilometers of open waters on Lake Albanel also awaits.
Tomorrow, the plan is to get up hopefully before sunrise, hit the lake when it's calm, hopefully like glass, make a beeline for that first peninsula and knock off at least the first 8 kilometer open water crossing. After that, we've got at least another 6 kilometers of open water to get across before we can call it a day. So tomorrow is definitely going to be big lake travel, but we need decent conditions before we attempt such a crossing because we don't want to get out there and have a canoe capsize. Lakes like this, large and unpredictable, not something you want to tempt fate with.
I've never done like open cross, like a big open crossing like this before, so it'll be kind of a new thing for me. Dealing with like wavy waters and big open, I guess the open winds and big open lake.
Hopefully the wind cooperates with us and we don't get any crazy headwinds or anything. but I think it's going to be a pretty interesting part of the trip, getting through this big lake.
I'm excited for that, just looking out and seeing, like, you know, way off the distance our target, and then just looking the other way, like just nothing, like, you know, just horizon. I think that's going to be super cool. A little scary too, a little bit exciting.
That evening, our thoughts were occupied with the wind and waves buffeting our beach. If the weather didn't begin to clear, we'd have to begin assessing our backup options. The thought of paddling 100 kilometers down the coast or being penned down on the beach for days was not appealing, and we remained hopeful that tomorrow would bring fair weather to attempt the crossing.
Morning of day 15, we are about to cross Lake Mistassini, kicking things off with an 8-kilometer open water crossing. We're just gonna go down about 1 kilometer down the point here, and then we're gonna take a straight bearing across the lake. Once we get to the midway point, there'll be a bit of shelter between 2 peninsulas, and then from then on we have a further 6-kilometer crossing to get to the other side, and that's the Portage area to Lake Albanel.
We're all pretty amped up about it because we had a weather day yesterday and we're eager to get across this big lake.
Pretty calm out there. There's no white caps or any big rolling waves coming in, so that's a good sign. So I think we're anticipating a pretty straightforward, kind of easier crossing, hopefully. And it looks like the weather will hold for at least a few hours as we're crossing.
The chop is pretty mild right now, and the pressure is rising, which is really good. Behind me, it looks like a high pressure system is moving in. The low pressure system that was predominant yesterday is moving out, so there's less cloud cover. It means the chop should get better as we're out there longer. So it looks like we have probably about a 4 to 5 hour window to play with, so that gives us ample time to cross both open bodies of water.
It's just gonna be interesting to be out there, like, pretty in the middle of the lake and then just not really being able to see anything on either side or see things really far in the distance. It's gonna be a pretty unique experience.
And I'm looking forward to it. I'm pretty excited. I think it'll be good once we get out there.
3 canoes, decks on in case we have any issues. We have the numbers, we have the spray decks, should be fine out there. But of course, with any open water crossing, there's always a bit of nerves when you're going out there because you are in the middle of the lake and you're far from shore. But conditions today are looking really favorable for this crossing, so I think it's gonna be really good. We are currently out in the middle of Lake Mistassini right now, pretty much the halfway point of our crossing. Making swift progress here. Looks like there's a bit of a foul weather to the southwest of us right now, but it's tracking to the east, which is good. And our heading is bang on. These waves aren't bad at all. All right, we are across the first part. Whew, not bad. That took us about an hour 15, and thankfully it was getting calmer and calmer as we were going. We are now between a giant point and a big island. It's kind of forming the middle arc of the lake, and then after that, we've got more open water crossing, though it's about 2 kilometers less than the last one we did there. So not out of the woods yet, but the weather is looking very favorable, and so far so good. Picked a good day to cross this lake.
First crossing was amazing. It was really, really calm. It was quite easy actually. Yeah, I mean, like we could see the opening from pretty far away, so it was encouraging, I guess. We just have about like another 6 kilometer crossing to do in this, like, once we get through this like little gateway.
It's very much akin to paddling an inland sea at times, apparently. And as the largest natural freshwater lake in Quebec, it is quite a massive body of water. So we've done a lot of big water paddling before, Lake Superior, Lake Huron, the ocean. Every time it's something different, but so far, so good on this lake. So we're about to start the second open water crossing. Fairly clear skies again today. We can see our trajectory, which makes it really nice. You don't have to just shoot a compass bearing. If you have a day with low visibility, you're definitely going to have to follow a bearing to get across. The wind has definitely shifted. We have a headwind now, and it's cooled off a bit. But so far, the skies are still looking favorable for the second part of our crossing here. All right, successfully crossed Lake Mistassini. Wasn't too tricky at all, and the water actually got calmer the more we paddled. Right now we're camped at the start of the portage between Lake Mistassini and Lake Albanel. We already portaged the canoes over. It's about 925 meters. Oh. Wow. Tree in my bow. Hello, tree. I cannot see because there's a tree right in front of me, portaging from Mistassini. I am soaked. On that, that's the rest of the trail. And I'm definitely not doing that today. Who else likes portaging in the rain? It's a pain. Makes you go a bit insane. Shorter day tomorrow, not too crazy, but thankfully Mistassini wasn't a harrowing crossing after all. And yeah, we made short work of it. So we're just gonna kick back, relax on this sort of dark, gloomy, rainy evening and hang out in the bug tent, make some dinner, and enjoy one of our last nights out here.
So are we feeling popcorn? People like, I kind of see like, be honest, if we're not feeling popcorn, let's not, no?
I feel like it's a lot of work.
It seems like it's a hard no on the popcorn.
Good morning, it is day 16. We are kicking things off with a portage. Last night we camped at the start of the Mistassini Albanel portage, and today we are going to be continuing across it. We've already got the canoes across, Now we're gonna do the packs after this 925 meter portage. It's a bit of a marshy bog area, which we paddle through. Then we do about a 550 meter, pop out on the river and do a 150 meter, and then we're down at the lake. So I'm like starting the day off marching through the bush with packs. At least they're light because we're at the end of our trip now.
Already hammered out the canoes yesterday, so it'll be an easy day for the boys.
Wet portage to the jungle. That's okay, no canoe.
Yeah.
All right, starting the day off right. Trekking. That is in fact the trail.
Hey, bro.
Oh. Branches that overlaid the trail, I got stuck and was like, wah! Every single time. Go figure. Pretty much the last portage in the area closest to a large population, in a park, in the First Nation reserve, where they use hunting and fishing, and it's the bushiest portage. How is this possible? Anyways, almost done. Yay. So we're currently on like a creek pond hop sort of thing between Lake Albanel and Mistassini. These are two massive lakes that are used by fishermen and the First Nations, and they're connected with a series of 3 little portages.
Okay, go. Whew.
And we're currently on this pond searching for this elusive 550 portage. We keep seeing trails, but they're just really well used beaver trails, so they look really defined, and then they go into the woods and just lead you to a bunch of fallen down trees that beavers have been eating. We've been looking for about 30 minutes, determined to not have to bushwhack. We've been going on and on about how this has been such a trip where everything works out and it's so perfect and blah blah blah. And now our last day, our literal last day. And this is what we get as our send-off. So we ended up finding the portage. Turns out it was actually a pond back. Brad thought he saw a blaze, but we're like, the map and all the notes were saying, oh, it's at the far north end of the chain of creek pond things. Old blaze. What we realized though was that a beaver dam had been recently erected. Those guys can change the nature of the lake a lot, so that's why we ended up just kind of missing it. We ended up actually just kind of bushwhacking 125 meters to the trail instead of going back down this like 5-foot beaver dam and continuing paddling. So we're just making our way.
Oh, that was good. One more of those to go. Oh, he's a pike.
Oh, you slippery little demon. There we go. There are fish in the waters here.
Woo!
With the portages complete, all that remained was one final rapid, and we'd find ourselves on the waters of Lake Albanel.
just as we were nearing camp for the night, we noticed movement on the shore. The encounter was brief, but we all managed to catch a glimpse of the elusive and endangered woodland caribou.
So our last night of the trip, we're here on Lake Albanel. Gorgeous lake, very similar to Lake Mistassini, but there's a lot more exposed rock on here, very like fractured, sweeping expanses. Gorgeous lake, really fitting end to our trip. It's bittersweet that our trip is coming to an end. The last 16 days really flew by.
It doesn't feel like the trip should be ending because it feels like it's just kind of getting started. But yeah, no, it's been a wonderful experience.
I learned a lot on this trip. Like, I think it was a really solid group of people, a lot of good skills too. You know, of course I had to get rescued maybe twice. Running the rapids was tons of fun. Just days, like, you know, 4 or 5 days of just non-stop rapids every day. And even though we had some bad weather days, like, that was just still a really good time.
We got really lucky with some nice big sets. I mean, there was a lot of lining and wading, but we're lucky we could do that instead of having a portage around it.
The whole dynamic of the trip was amazing. Everybody getting along, everybody just laughing never laughed as much as this.
A year of COVID and being by myself, it's nice to get out on the river and just forget that that's going on and just get to know a good group of people.
I haven't laughed this much on a trip. My abs are not sore from canoeing. My abs are sore from laughing, which is a fun change of pace.
It's a little sad. It's weird that it's our last night out on the water.
These are the types of trips that make you want to go on trip because they make it, you don't want to end. You could easily be out here for 2 months.
Once you get in the groove, you go, and if we'd have more food, we could keep going for as long as we could.
It's been quite the experience. It's been quite the trip, and it's bittersweet that it's all coming to an end right now, but it's been one incredible journey. Good morning, day 17 and our final day on the water. We're going to be paddling across Lake Albanel today. We've got about 5 kilometers to get to our takeout, and then we have a long shuttle to do to get our vehicles back from the Otish Mountains. So it'll be a short day. The sun is already blazing hot. It's 7 o'clock. The water is very calm. We have about a 2 kilometer open water crossing, but we should make quick work of that. But yeah, just a brief paddle and the trip comes to a close.
I feel great about crossing Lake Albanel. It's super calm. It's a short crossing. It's only like 3 kilometers or so, which is not a lot to us anymore after our big crossings a couple days ago. We couldn't ask for better weather. It's sunny. It's an early morning. It's beautiful. It feels surreal that it's already over. Yeah, I feel like we could stay out here forever now that we have our rhythm and groove. But I mean, food in Sheboygan is gonna be pretty awesome. Nice cold beer, too.
It's bittersweet, our trip is coming to an end, but it has been an unforgettable 17 days paddling through the wilds of the Otish Mountains, through the barrens and the canyons and the large lakes, out here to Lake Albanel, finishing our trip. One fantastic journey through northern Quebec, and we'll definitely be back to this area to explore more in the future. Fantastic.
Our adventure across the wilds of northern Quebec was coming to a close. At times, the lands and waters challenged our headway. Yet there was always a reward for our efforts as we ventured across the tundra-top mountains, through the barren taiga, and into the great boreal forest.
All told, we had journeyed over 300 kilometers through a vast, unspoiled wilderness. Though we set out to discover the secrets of a river, we left with far more, forming newfound bonds and memories that would last a lifetime.
While the end of a trip is always bittersweet, it had been one incredible journey through the place
Where the waters begin.
Downstream? What? What is that?